The Healing Tree Sacrament, home of alternative and holistic health. Here, Shannon Del Fiorentino-McLeran practices as a metaphysical healer, departed soul healing, spirit guide facilitator, numerologist, aura healer, and Reiki master. And let's not forget her live sessions of What's Up Witches with Katrina Rashball on Facebook and on YouTube. We had an awesome time talking about life and lasting healing. Welcome to the So welcome to the Witches Haven and welcome to this amazing interview with an amazing person. And let me see if I can actually pronounce her name correctly. It's Miss Shannon Del Fiorentino-McLeran.
You did excellent. Nicely done. Perfect. Yes, that's how you say my name.
This is an amazing, and because I wrote it down. She's a psychic, she's a medium, she's an astrologer, a tarot reader, and of course, an aura cleansing ninja. That has this amazing place called the Sacramento Healing Tree, the Healing Tree. We're going to have all the links down in the description to her YouTube channel, her website, and her Facebook page, so you can show her some love with giving her a like and a share. So, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you? I'm so happy to be here.
It is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. I have seen you a couple of times around on social media, and it's not a boring watch at all.
Yeah, that's the Thursday night What's Up Witches. We're interesting. We do that. Yeah.
It's fascinating because these women talk about anything and everything without adding on all the ribbons, and they just tell it like it is.
Yeah, it's Katrina Rasbold and I are very. This is the way it is. Here you go. And there's not a lot of fluff. Like no fluff.
Yep, that's what brujeria does to you.
Yes.
Everything is it. No, I have more important things to do. So tell us about your journey.
Well, my journey has actually been my whole life. So from the first memories that I have are spirits coming out of my closet to come and talk to me. And I grew up in a very, very Christian home. And so I was told that I was making that up and that wasn't real. So I, as any good person, any good child that's freaked out about their gifts, they figure out how to block it out, which I did for a while. And that was not my path. So they came back, everything came back stronger than before. And so I had to learn how to deal with it. While that was also happening, I figured out that I noticed this weird phenomenon that everybody would come over to my house. They would sit down on my couch and they would fall asleep because they felt so comfortable. And then when they would leave, I was very, very tired and I didn't understand what was happening. And what was happening is that I was unconsciously healing all of these people. So they would feel great and I would feel wiped out. And my path led me to Reiki, which showed me how to not use my own energy to heal people, which was very nice. So I followed the Reiki. I'm a Reiki master 3 times. My journey has been quite bumpy. So as I said, with the starting out with my being told that I was making things up, I've had a real struggle with doubt on my gifts and my healing and everything. And I find that doubt is something that people don't talk about because I think that we want to say, oh, I don't want you to think I can't do what I'm doing. But, you know, every single one of us have to struggle with doubt. We just do. And it's kind of my champion thing to talk about doubt because how do you get past it if nobody talks about it? And I'm talking about it because I had such a huge struggle with it. So there are still times that I kind of go, what am I doing? But you know, then it passes. But so it's much less than it was. But So there was the doubt to get past. And then there's also the struggle to, you're really putting yourself out there when you're saying, hey, I'm a healer. Hey, I'm psychic. Hey, I talk to dead people. And, if you watch the media, these people get crucified in the media. They get made fun of. And, coming from a very Christian home, it's not a very accepted thing. And so I had to get past the fear of what will my family think? Will my friends not talk to me? There's a lot of things that you have to hurdle over this. But there's no way that I could do anything but what I'm doing, because it is absolutely my path. I dream about it. I constantly think about it. And if I don't have somebody to heal, I actually start to get depressed. So, every single time I'm doing a healing on somebody, during the healing at one point, I'm thanking them, because I would be so sad if I didn't have anybody to heal. So that's my journey in a nutshell.
Do you think that doubt is something that we all have, but like you said, we refuse to talk about it because it made us appear weak?
Absolutely.
Or maybe that we're not sure, that maybe we think that is something psychological or even, yes, organic. Do you think that that's maybe the reason why some people just don't say, I've struggled with doubt my whole life?
Well, exactly. And everybody has. And it's because the world that we're dealing with being pagan, being a witch, being a healer, a psychic, medium, all of those things, we cannot prove it. There's some things that we can say, see, this enforces what we're saying, but we cannot say, without a doubt, here's your proof. There's no scientific proof. Well, there's some, but you can't walk up to a scientist and say, here is the empirical data, it's true. And so because we are so conditioned to believe what we can see, believe what we can prove, then the things that we cannot see or prove, well, that must be you're making it up. And then it doesn't help that there's psychic or people who claim to be psychic who are not, and they're charlatans. There's people out there that are claiming to be healers and they don't do anything but take your money. And so that is just another hurdle that people who are actually psychic, healers have to overcome. But then, you don't want to say, well, am I fake? Am I making this up? Am I one of those people that I don't want to be? And so it's this whole thing that happens. But I also think that people just don't want to admit, perhaps I'm not completely confident. I know what I'm doing, because if I'm confident, then you'll believe in me and you'll get a healing from me. And my kind of stance is, I'm just going to be Shannon, and I'm going to be honest with you about my journey. And, if you don't feel like I'm the person for you, that's okay, because the universe is going to bring me the people that I can help the best. And I think that being authentic is far more important than trying to, posture and be, I'm, whatever. The thing that I'm most excited about that is really widespread accepted is meditation, because meditation is something that a lot of people skip right over. And if you want to increase your psychic skill, whatever it is, if you want to increase your connection with your God or goddess, if you want to increase your connection with, you see Katrina and Eric right now, they're like making faces at me. So as I was saying, if you want to increase your energy with magic, or any kind of connection that you have, meditation is the way to do it. And if you are meditating on the pentagram, if you are meditating on any kind of symbol, magic, healing, psychic, whatever, Reiki, whatever it is, if you're meditating on it, then you're dropping into it and you're really feeling that energy and you're really feeling connected to it. And that will increase everything. And meditation, I mean, it's in hospitals now. It's, they're talking about it on like Dr. Oz, and I think.
What if in just 5 minutes a day you could alter how you handle stress in a meaningful way? Well, it can be done with mindful meditation. Now you think meditation is not for you? Well, today I'll make you think again with a 5-minute meditation.
And release all of those sounds that are trapped in your mind.
I'm a little messed up.
And mindfulness and being aware of what's going on. So it's nice that if you're sitting in a park bench and you're meditating, no one's going to look at you like you're crazy. Now, when we're meditating, you know, we could be talking to our God and our goddess, and we could be performing magic, and no one would know what we're doing. We're just sitting there with our eyes closed. I think that's really, really exciting that is coming into to be more accepted. The shamanism is absolutely something that's I think that people are more accepted. Lots and lots of people have stage now. We're not as strange as we used to be, because a lot of these things are becoming more mainstream. Like, you know, I mean, like, how many people have crystals now? I mean, everybody has crystals, right? And it's not strange or anything like that. But for like you and me, we know what those crystals do. And we know that the power behind them, and we know how to clean them and all of these other things. Not everybody knows how to do that. But I think that it's really exciting to me to see how many people are becoming so open-minded about all of it. It's not, you know, they're not burning us anymore. Now we're kind of cool.
And I have to tell you, it feels kind of weird, because I still remember when we had to hide that at 3 o'clock in the morning they would knock on your door. I need a favor. I need a favor. And it was like this underground secret that you go to that woman's house to actually do a trabajo, or, you know, something, a spell or what have you. And now it's expected. It's actually expected from spiritual coaches. It's expected from readers, tarot readers.
Mm-hmm.
Have this whole carousel of abilities, and it's okay and it's expected. Do you think that has made it a little easier to say, yes, I talk to dead people? And by the way, your uncle says that the deed of the house is going to be the third brick behind the fireplace.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's because I and that's one of the things is I really, really had a hard time admitting to anybody that I talked to dead people, because I had watched what they did to, like, John Edwards and Sylvia Brown and anybody that back then was saying, hey, I talk to dead people. Instantly, you're a fake. And I'm sensitive. I'm an empath. I'm super sensitive, all this stuff. And so if people are coming at me, telling me, you know, throwing that at me, I think I would just cry. You know, but you know, I've my nieces and nephews, you know, they bring people over to our house when they're visiting, and you know, they'll see like my pentagrams, or they'll see my brooms on the wall, and they'll ask, what's that? And I'm like, well, I'm a witch. And the response, I expect the response of, oh, you're a what? And they go, oh, that's really cool. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. And then they just go on about their life. But before, back in the day, you know, they would be like, I have to leave. I've got to get out of your house. You're going to do something with the devil or something. You know, when this was probably about 20 years ago, I was giving my niece a healing, and my sister then took her to the doctor to see what was wrong with her, because she had some kind of ear thing going on, thought it was an ear infection. And I gave her a healing, went to the doctor, and there was nothing wrong with her. And she was reporting this back to my mom, and my mom said, well, did Shannon breathe the devil into her? Because then, if you're doing any kind of magic or healings or anything like that, it's got to be from the devil, because that's what my mom was taught. So it's, you know what I mean, all witches are in cahoots with the devil, which doesn't even, it's not even the same realm, but you know, it's all of those things. So it's so nice that kids now are like, oh, that's cool, bye, and they walk on, and as opposed to what you and I grew up with, of having to hide things and being told that we were doing something evil. And now we're not. We get to kind of be open more, which is really cool, I think.
Refreshing, because the hypocrisy is such that I don't know if this happened to you. You saw around you all those people that would claim to be a very specific thing and this case Christians, but they would do the complete opposite. And you know that they were all full of crap.
Yep.
And it's funny when you see all of this falling apart. I call this information era of there is nothing secret anymore, that everything comes to light. I call it the modern version of the apocalypse. Everything is coming out.
Yes.
Everybody's dirty laundry is being aired out. Everybody, everything, now there's nothing hidden. Do you think religion is at the brink of falling apart the way that it was?
I really do. And just like I said, how kids come in and they're like, oh, you're a witch, big deal, okay, cool. Because the generations coming up are not rooted in the main religions anymore. They don't want to be told what to do anymore. They want to think for themselves. And we raise them to think for themselves. So, and I believe that the Christianity and, you know, just the main religions and how hardcore they were about this is what you do, this is what you don't do. I don't think that the kids are interested in that anymore. And we've taught them to be mindful. We've taught them to meditate. We've shown them that energy exists. So when you go into church or a synagogue or wherever you're going to go, and they're saying that stuff doesn't exist, but they've had experiences with it, kids are going to be like, wait a minute, this doesn't fit. So I don't think that they're going to go away, but I think that they have to adapt. Now, just like the churches where gay and lesbian people can come to and they won't be shunned and they're welcomed with open arms. Those are the type of churches that are evolving and that are going to last. They're going to be around, you know, because it's not just the gay and lesbians and the trans people that need that, but it's also all of the allies and all of the people around saying, you know, you can't treat them like that. That's not okay. Stop doing that. And so that's what I believe has to happen. I don't think that religion and faith of any kind is going to go away, but it has to mold and grow is what I think. So I think that the old kind of rigid ideas are falling away. That's right.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned the LGBT community, because that was one of the reasons why I got ordained as a minister, so I can perform. As soon as it became legal, I said, there it is. And that was something that the pagan community started to actually push.
Mm-hmm.
And they're huge. Those communities are huge and they're very tight knitted. And I think that there is a reason for that, for being that tight, because they were depraved, or this spiritual experience in their homes.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, when my wife and I got married, we went down to the courthouse to do it because we couldn't really find any other place to do it. But even when we were getting married there, the woman, the judge, or I'm not sure exactly who she was. Anyway, the person that married us, she started to cry too, because she's like, these are my favorite ones to do, you know. And it's just yet one more proof that we are evolving, and the old closed-minded ways of thinking aren't really going to last anymore, which is really nice for us as pagans and healers and psychics, mediums, and, you know, all of those things. Because, you know, just because I love a woman doesn't mean I'm less than a person. And I don't want to, you know, I want to be able to hold her hand when I walk down the street. We used to make jokes. She wanted to move to the South because she's from the South, and I'm a lesbian witch. I'm not going to the South. Like, I don't know what they'll do to me. You know, she's like, oh, it'll be fine. So, you know, but it's nice that everything is evolving, and it makes me happy, and it fills me with hope.
At least our children's children don't have to deal, at least not in the way that when we were younger.
Right.
Those type of topics and those type of pressures destroyed whole lives.
Yes, they do.
And we're evolving, and we're going in a very good way, like you said.
So 2020 is a 4-year, and I'm into numerology, and a 4-year is getting everything stable. So everything's kind of shaking out. Like, what is my foundation? If you think about a table, it's got 4 legs, so it's real solid and shaky, and not shaky. So in the 4-year, everything is getting kind of lined up. That's why I'm very interested in how this election is going to shake out, because it's interesting, you know.
It has the same.
Yeah. So but it's about being stable. So we'll see what's stable.
How can energy healing and energy work help us to ground ourselves, or to just shake all the garbage that we pick up every day?
Well, you just mentioned one of my favorite topics. I call myself an expert in grounding and shielding because I have been teaching grounding for 20 years. And it is such a huge part of any practice. You know, magical, you need to be grounded. Psychic, healing, medium, anything, you need to be grounded. You know what? Even if you're not any of those things, you still need to be grounded, because we're energetic beings and we need to ground, and we need to ground properly, not just, you know, one of my things is a lot of people want to ground like a tree, but have you ever seen a tree in a really bad storm? It just falls over. So we don't want to be a tree. We, you know, grounding to the core of the earth is such a basic thing that we all learn in the beginning of our paths, and then we forget about it. And when we ground, and I think that people forget that when we're grounding, if we have a grounding cord into the core of the earth, we can shake off all of those things and throw them down the grounding cord, because the earth is the great recycling center. And so it'll take all that nasty energy that you send it, and it'll turn it into great energy and send it back up. And it's, you know, it recycles it. So it's amazing how effective that one simple tool is to release things. If you're willing to release it and you can send it down your grounding cord, it's gone. And then it turns into something beautiful. You know, I personally really the only way that I ever suggest anybody ground is from your root chakra down to the core of the earth. Now there's different variations of how you do that and what that looks like, but I always suggest to everybody that they connect to the core of the earth. So now everybody's heard of this earthing term, and they call it grounding. And where you take off your shoes, or you hug a tree, or you take off your shoes and you walk on the beach, or you walk on the grass. Now those things feel really, really nice because we've got our skin on Mother Earth, and she helps kind of discharge all of the electronics. You know, I mean, we've got our phones in our hands constantly, right? So that's an electric charge that's going through us. And so walking on your skin on Earth will help dissipate all of those charges. Hugging a tree will help dissipate those charges. And that's why that feels so good, is because you're releasing extra energy that isn't us. I mean, we're energy anyway. I think it was like in a day we can generate 100 watts. You know, I mean, like, so at any time we're generating like a 10 watts of energy, that'll light up a light bulb, you know. So if we don't have that grounded, you know, we could short out. So my favorite way and most effective way that I have ever found is grounding from our root chakra down to the core of the earth. There's lots of other things that we can do to calm and kind of discharge ourselves, but that's the only one that I find is effective every single time. Now, there's something really interesting about grounding down to the core of the earth. There are some people who cannot do that. They can't get to the core of the earth. And they can try and say, I'm just one of those people that cannot ground. And every single time I find somebody that says that, I say, okay, from your root chakra, ground up. Go out through your crown chakra and go up to a planet. Because you're probably not originally from here. And every time they're like, oh, that was really easy. I can ground. You just gotta go up. So it's up or down. It doesn't, you know, the center of the earth, it doesn't actually have to be earth. It has to be the core of a planet. Doesn't matter which one. So I always find it interesting.
What are your thoughts on people's connecting to other people? Like, it says that, for example, when you have a pet, that you can actually transfer all those negative emotions or that depression or feeling sad, and that exchange of with a dog or a cat actually rises up your vibration, or the simple act of a hug, or
Absolutely.
or a kiss. Do you think those are other ways of actually grounding?
I'm very specific about what I think grounding is, but all of those things you just mentioned will absolutely raise your vibration and will make you feel better, because we are pack animals and we need other people. Now, I'm fiercely independent, and there's sometimes that I like to delude myself to thinking I don't need anybody, I can do it by myself. And that's absolute crap. Nobody can do it by themselves. We need other people. And you know, there's just nothing like getting a hug from somebody. When something bad has happened, you need a hug. You need a hug. You need to know that you're not alone. You need to know that you can fall apart in somebody else's arms. You know, animals are absolutely amazing for the love that they give, because it's unconditional. It's why it's so devastating when we lose a pet, because they are absolute unconditional love. And you know, I've read articles that have said that, you know, a kitten's purr, when a cat is purring, it actually can soothe depression, and it helps us heal all kinds of things. So knowing and remembering that we are all connected through these energy strings and cords that run through us and everybody, you and me, anybody watching, we are all connected by this great scheme of energy. And remembering that you're not alone, you're so connected to everybody. And that's like when you start to build up love and happiness and kindness, and you start to send that out, you are overwhelmed with how much love that you are, because it's going out and then it's coming back to you. I mean, when I've done this, I just start weeping because I'm so full of these feelings, because it just goes out to everybody and then it comes back. I think it's amazing. So I think that other people being in our lives absolutely increases our awareness, and we just raise our vibration up when anybody else when we connect with anybody else. You know, when you, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but have you ever tried to walk up to somebody that you care about and put your hand right on their heart chakra, and then have them put their hand on your heart chakra? And if you just sit there and look into each other's eyes, you will be so connected. It's, you know, the first couple of times you do it, you just cry, because you're just so connected and so full of love. So we absolutely need other people. Absolutely. And other people raise us up, you know, just, I mean, like my office is in Crossroads Metaphysical Shop with Katrina. And, you know, I can't even express how much that she has done for me personally and for my business. It's been amazing. And the only reason why she's done that is because she loves me. You know, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, you know. And so I want to do that to other people. I want to give back to her. I want to give back to, if there's anybody that's starting their own business in the healing, I want to help them come along just like I was helped. And it's all just interconnected. So my phrase on my website is, I want to heal the world one person at a time. So I have always wanted to heal people. And so I would like to be remembered, my legacy of empowering other people to live better lives, empowering people to know how to manage energy so that they can thrive and heal them. I need to heal other people. I need it. And I would love to be remembered for somebody that was kind and a healer. That would be a pretty cool legacy. And maybe funny. That'd be okay too.
It's an amazing legacy, because that's what we are. We are what we leave behind. This is how we become immortal. What would be the one advice that you can give to a person that is starting their path to awakening? What you do in your practice, what do you recommend people that are new into the field? Forget about being witches or what have you. What would be your first 5 pointers to people that are new to this and don't know anything about it?
Let's see. Well, learn as much as you can. So read, go to classes, go to rituals, watch things on YouTube is fantastic, where you can learn so much things. Don't be too quick to decide that you are one thing or another. So while you're learning, keep your mind open and say, okay, I want to learn all of these things, and you're going to start to be drawn towards one thing more than everything else, but still try and learn everything, because if you learn everything when you're new, then I've been doing this for 30 years, right? So when somebody says to me about a mythology from Norris path, I have no idea. I've never studied that. I can't have a conversation about it. And I wish that I would have learned it. I don't, and it would be nice to go back and learn it. So if you're starting out, learn everything, learn absolutely everything, because you'll find little nuggets in all of those things that will inform your path. So learn everything, and don't pick anything just yet. Write everything down that is happening. Write it all down, because if it's not just being a witch kind of thing, but if you're developing psychically, you're going to want to have a record of, today I thought that my boss was going to wear purple. My boss wore purple today, and that's a validation thing, and that helps with your doubt. And so when you do that on a psychic level, what you're creating is a doubt smashing book, so that you can go back when you're full of doubt saying, I can't do this. You can go back and go, look at all these times I was right. Look at all the time that I pay attention to my intuition, and it turned out that I was onto something there. Maybe I missed it a little bit, but I was pretty close. So writing everything down, I think, is amazing, because I'm a big writer, but I'm a Virgo, so I like to write. The other thing is meditation, because not only to connect with the spirits and your deities, but to know yourself. Because if you're quiet and you know yourself, then if an outside energy is coming in, you're going to be like, wait a minute, I know my energy so well, that's not me. Maybe it's a spirit trying to talk to you. Maybe you're empathic and you're feeling somebody else's, but if you know who you are, then it's easier to differentiate. Oh, I know, don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun. It doesn't, I see people come in and they want to know about developing psychic skills and how to meditate or being empathic, and everybody's so very earnest about it. They're like, tell me what to do. And we all just need to kind of lighten up, because nobody's getting out alive anyway, so let's have some fun. So I think, just not taking everything so seriously. I mean, of course, sacred things deserve respect. However, it doesn't need to be a downer kind of thing. And I think maybe I'm going to stop at 4, because it's a 4-year in numerology, and that sounds like a fantastic excuse to stop at 4.
What is your favorite book so far? Your recommendation, your witchy recommendation of the interview. What would be your favorite book for people?
I have to say it's not a witchy book. It's not a witchy book, actually. And because I recommend this book to pretty much anybody. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with somebody named Louise Hay. She was the first person that talked about affirmations, talked about the mind, body, spirit connection. And her big thing, she's no longer with us, but her big thing was loving yourself and how much that can do. So that is actually one of the things that I recommend to my clients the most. Is that she wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. And really what it is it's about loving yourself and accepting yourself. Because once we actually love ourselves and accept ourselves, we become far more powerful than we ever have been, because we don't have all of that negative self-talk that drags us down. About how your negative self-talk and how what different choices you would have made if you loved yourself more, it'll change your whole life. So
oh yeah,
that is actually my recommendation for that book. I go and I always, like, if I can find them, I'll buy them, and then I'll just sell them to my clients. And because again, I'm a healer. I just want to help people, and if I can encourage somebody to love themselves more, their life is going to absolutely be better.
And that is absolutely true. If I loved myself, even I wouldn't have shared my space with certain people over
Right.
and over and over and over.
Well, absolutely. And when we love ourselves, we change our vibration. And when we change our vibration, then we attract different things, and I actually just posted a quote on my Instagram. I think it was Instagram. It was somewhere about Wayne Dyer said something about, if you don't want those awful circumstances in your lives, you need to change your vibration so that you don't match with them anymore and they won't come around. If you've learned a lesson, you can move past it. And that's absolutely true. In retrospect, made horrible decisions about people I've chosen to have around me. Right? Yeah, I think we all have. Who has that, right? But if you look at the lessons that you've learned by having those people in your life. Now, it may be the lesson of what never to do again, but it's still a lesson that informs you. So, and all of us are always just trying to do the best that we can and make the best decision in the moment. We never try and hurt anybody else. And if we can be a little kinder to ourselves and say, oh, I was learning back then, and I'm trying to love myself more, and I'm trying to go on and improve, then, it's a little bit easier if we can be kinder to ourselves and kinder to other people.
Part from a place of allowance, a place of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And that is something that if you use it the right way, like, for example, you had a terrible childhood and you have, I'm going to put it that way, mommy issues, and you actually forgive that part of your parent, your part of your mother that did not have the tools to actually made it right by you. You see it as a person, you see it as a growing experience of what not to do and why we do what we do.
I think that every child goes through the point where you have to admit, oh wait, mom and dad are not superheroes. They're human and they make mistakes. And that's very, very hard. I remember when that happened for me, when my parents were like, no, I'm not going to save you out of this mess. I was like, oh, how dare you not save me? What is going on? And, it was a great lesson, but I got very angry, but my parents are human and they had a choice to make. You don't have to help your 27-year-old child. They can take care of things for themselves, So, but and I think that that's a huge thing for people to know about, like, their parents, is that they're human too. And if we can love ourselves and we can love them and think about what they've gone through and work through those issues, because so many of us are walking around wounded. We're just wounded, and if we can work on those issues, then we can become more whole. And then if you think about it, if we become more whole because we've done work on ourselves, then we can go out and we can be even better witches. We can be even better healers. We can be more empathic to other people because we've worked through our stuff. There's just so many things that it goes out if we know our own energy and we know what we're dealing with and we know our shadow.
And even though this is the witch's haven, that doesn't mean that the people that we brought, the experts that we brought in, are witches at all, because that is something so personal as what religion are you? So there are certain things that we need to learn, especially within the witchcraft community, that there are many branches, many denominations, like in church. There are many practices, and there are many types of healers like yourself.
I call myself an eclectic witch because I don't choose one path, because part of me is shamanistic, and and if there's something from Wicca that I like, I'll take that. If there's something with this or that, I just take it all together. And because this is the way I put it, is that we're all climbing the same mountain to get to the same top. We're just taking different paths. And because I grew up so strict Christian that I didn't want anybody telling me what I should or shouldn't do. I wanted to listen to my gut and to my own intuition inside me to say, this is what I'm drawn to, this is what I'm not drawn to. And I am a healer, and I may seem very new age, but I have the heart of a witch. I'm absolutely a witch.
These are old souls, and that's exactly what you are, an old soul fulfilling its purpose. I want to thank you so much. And drop the shameless ad right there. Drop your shameless ad.
Oh, my shameless ad?
Yes.
My shameless ad. Here's my shameless ad. You can find me at sacramentohealingtree.com, and I'm on Facebook under the same name, and Instagram. And on there, you can find on my website all of the services that I list that are listed. Can't talk. And every single one of them, except for the anxiety treatment, all of them can be done remotely. So it does not matter where you're at, and it doesn't matter what time it is. You can email me, and we can work out a time for a healing, whatever it is that you need. I also have chakra candles that will help balance your chakras.
They're amazing.
My little chakra candles.
Amazing.
I always burn my crown chakra one. So this is what it looks like. I love my little tree. Anyway, oh, you know what? A funny thing about that candle. I like to burn the crown chakra one because of the work that I do. You know, and I found the other day, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm remembering my dreams. So I didn't even mean to do something with my crown chakra with my candles, and I did. And you can get numerology reports from me as well. I'm probably forgetting something, but come in on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. There's a What's Up Witches. We have so much fun. Katrina Rasbold and I do this What's Up Witches every other week. It's where we give you free 2-card tarot readings, and then the opposite week it's Ask Us Anything, and we'll answer your questions. And we have a lot of fun, and we're quite silly, and we just laugh at each other. So come and join us.
Yes, they're crazy, and in a good way. In a very good way. It's like they're channeling something that they just want to fool around, and it's just truth after truth after truth after truth into there's nothing else to do.
We start just talking to each other, and we're like, oh wait, we're supposed to be doing this thing. It would be fantastic if you all came and joined us.
Yes, please. So remember, keep witching, keep wishing, and remember that all of this is in your hands. Remember, you may not be in control of what happens to you, but you definitely are in charge of how you react to it. So blessed be, and welcome to the Witch's Haven.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.